Good morning. Oh, that was loud. Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Greater Naples. My name is Tony Fisher. I'm grateful to be here, be your minister, and grateful to have you with us. Today is Father's Day, and though our service is not about Father's Day, we do honor with gratitude all those people who have come into our life in whatever fashion, biological fathers, stepfathers, adoptive and foster fathers, grandfathers, spiritual fathers, and all the uncles, brothers, and friends who, whether they know it or not, helped fill the role of father in our lives. Happy Father's Day to you all. I am grateful this morning for you, of course. I am also grateful this morning and would like to give gratitude for our new Board of Trustees, whose term began the 1st of May. They've been brought up to speed, gone through all the nuts and bolts of leading this congregation, and have already been busy serving you as your elected leaders for the congregation. So as I call your names, if you'd please rise or at least acknowledge your presence here this morning. Vice President Skip Lundborg. Treasurer Susan Music, who is watching online up in Ohio. Secretary Kathy Gorski, who hasn't, oh, there she is, there you go. At-large members John Pipkin, Beth George, and Sandy Cunningham. There she is. And last but not least, our president, Chris Cowan, who is here to close out the welcome.
Thank you, Tony, and happy Father's Day to you. I do want to extend those Father's Day greetings and appreciation that, with one exception, and that's National Third Cousins Day. Father's Day is probably the least recognized or remembered day on our calendar. So that you came to spend part of your special day with us, we appreciate it. And to all the non-fathers here in the sanctuary, out in the pavilion, and up in the ether of Facebook, welcome as well. We're delighted you're here because we are an inclusive, welcoming congregation, really seeking spiritual and intellectual growth. Here we learn and grow together and try to take what we've learned in our lives in our life out in public. If you're new to our congregation, we're especially grateful you found us. Please feel free to join us for coffee and conversation after the service in the pavilion. Our hope is to make you feel welcome and help you find ways to connect. If you'd like to find out more about our congregation or about Unitarian Universalism, please feel free to come forward after the service and talk to Tony or me. And now, let's take a deep breath and settle ourselves into this time of worship with the morning's prelude.
Here in this place of peace, may we find hope. Here in this place of connection, may we find life-giving community. Here in this place of rest, let the unrest of our hearts turn us towards justice. Here in this place, made sacred by the memories of those who came before, let each of us feel ourselves part of a new life that grows from strong roots. Here in this place of love, may we see beyond what is to what might be, in the spiraling unity of years. Please join me in our missional congregational response shown on your screen. May this flame stir our hearts and remind us of our mission to be truly welcoming, to grow in mind and spirit, and to widen the circle of peace, justice, and love. And let's join together in singing our opening hymn, number 346 in the gray hymnal. Come sing a song with me, rise as you are willing and able.
Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time.
Good morning. My name is Janet Hoffman. I am a member of the Visioning Task Force. Margaret Wheatley said, "There is no greater power than a community discovering what it cares about." And our visioning found that power. Many thanks to all of you who participated in the visioning event. Thank you for your courage, your openness, and honesty to share what has been in your heart to help guide the direction of the congregation. I want to thank the other Visioning Task Force members. I am very grateful for Chris Cowan, our chair, Jack Gorski, Jane Graham, Steve Espinoza, and Martha Cornell. We were asked by our board to facilitate and develop a congregationally inspired vision that would provide direction to UUCGN's future. To prepare, we regularly met with Sukup Strategic Solutions, some of who would be facilitators on the March 16th event. One of their initial steps was to interview a variety of members from our congregation. to better understand us. One of the task force initial steps was to look at the entire congregational survey results. And this survey was accomplished last fall. The survey results are what motivated last year's board to move forward with this visioning. So your time and energy filling out this survey was very helpful to the board, the Vision Task Force, and the whole congregation. Thank you for this, and a special thanks for all of your comments. We did carefully examine all comments given in the survey. Studying the results of the survey gave us a better understanding of the culture here. We could see which values were prioritized and which elements were viewed as strengths. Some of the task force worked on sharing snippets of this survey in the UU News to inspire and motivate all of us. We also spent time examining the vision statements from other UU congregations and also other sources like businesses. Many of the UU vision statements were a whole page or longer. Only a few were one sentence, and that was mostly businesses. To communicate the congregation's aspirations with clarity, we felt we needed more than one sentence, while a whole page seemed overwhelming. And we are very thankful for the connections between people that this visioning process helped to develop. Next, you will hear about the actual visioning event.
So those of you who don't know me, I'm the aforementioned Jack Gorski. So a large part of the genesis of the vision statement involved a workshop that was on March 16th. There were more than 90 UUCGN members who sat around 11 tables here in this room and to share their thoughts on what should be included in the vision for the congregation. There were 3 questions posed for discussion, and each anchored a segment of that workshop. The questions were, what do you aspire to personally for your future growth that UUCGN can support? The second, who do we aspire to be as a beloved congregation in the future? And the third is, who do we aspire to be in the wider community in the future? The discourse about these 3 questions was very energetic. It was difficult to keep the process general, as once an aspiration was identified by one participant, there would be additions and embellishments and follow-ups that would start delving into specifics. It was a visioning workshop, so it was the role of the moderators to try to restrain this exuberance, which was not an easy task. We actually fell into the same trap as everybody else at the table. During the table reports, at the end of every session, each table reported out, it became obvious that there were recurrent themes and aspirations: diversity, justice, compassion, support, and growth, to name a few. Interestingly, we saw examples of these themes playing out at the tables themselves. Diversity of thought, justice in dealing with each other at the table, and support for each other in our ideas. And going over later what was written on the flip charts, we saw that these parallels were very widespread. For example, at 2 different tables, there was the comment that we needed to actively embrace change, push the envelope to the point that we felt uncomfortable. Now, that kind of a statement you'd think would be relatively unique, but it actually came up at 2 different tables. So you could see the parallel thinking going on. Other examples include learning to be comfortable with others who have differing opinions, healing injustice, optimizing our UU experience and others. And as you look at the writing on the flip charts, you can see how these things develop, because there would be a kind of a central idea, for example, help me in aging, and then around there would be other words that were thrown in, like helping me overcome my loneliness, and the answer, the response would be build a better sense of community, etc. Right? So you can easily, when you look at that, you can easily imagine people at the table doing this. Right? It was really great. So it was exciting to see, and it took a while for us to come to grips with all of this. But at one point, we started to putting words down on paper.
My name is Steve Espinoza. I've been a member of UUCGN for 11 years. Well, the Visioning Task Force worked together through in-person and Zoom meetings to craft a visioning statement using texts gathered from the March 16th Visioning Workshop. If you look up at our screen, you'll see a word cloud with all of the gathered keywords that were called out from the workshop participants. Words that were written on the many flip charts around the room. Those were instrumental in our task. When our final draft was ready, we sent it to a diverse group of 18 UUCGN members, asking for their input to help us refine it even further. We received 14 responses, which were nearly unanimous in favor of the statement, with a few suggestions for additional perspectives. After carefully considering their comments, the team made revisions and finalized the vision statement. Reflecting on the beginnings of this visioning task force and the numerous meetings to craft this vision statement, it is clear that the diversity of this group was essential in sharing a variety of perspectives. Well, our next step was to present the visioning statement to the Board of Trustees for their approval. So at their meeting in May, Janet, Jack, and I talked about the work of crafting the congregational vision statement, then presented it to them, which they unanimously approved. And now I have the privilege and pleasure of reading this visioning statement for you. We envision an engaged and growing congregation supporting one another on our shared journey to a more peaceful, just, compassionate, and loving future. Embracing diversity, generosity, and joy, we are committed to becoming a more open, inclusive congregation supporting social, economic, and environmental justice, respectful relationships, and encouraging the development of individual, intellectual, and spiritual growth through all phases of life. Upon this foundation, we aspire to be a beacon of hope, love, and justice for the greater community. That is it. Now, the Vision Task Force would like to sincerely thank the congregation for their invaluable participation in this process. We needed everyone's voice to craft a vision statement that truly represents all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Vision statement you can find on the back of your order of service this morning. And let's join together, remain seated as we sing our centering hymn, Spirit of Life. It's number 123 in the gray hymnal.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Lord, justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. Fuente de amor, ven hacia mí y al corazón cántale tu compasión. Plopla al volar, sube en la mar, hasta moldear la justicia de la vida. Arraigame, libérame, fuente de amor, ven a mí, ven a mí.
This is our time as a congregation, as a community, to come together and share with one another those things that are important in our lives, those things that we hold close often, but get to share with our fellow travelers on this journey. I have a couple of quick announcements today. Lou Laurent, who went through heart surgery on Wednesday this week, is recovering nicely at NCH. He may have been sprung home this weekend. I'm not quite sure yet. But he did well in the surgery, and we look forward to seeing Lou sometime in the next couple of weeks. Also got notice that Bill Green's memorial service up in Frederick, Maryland, will be held this coming Saturday. We had known that, but it will be streamed, so we will send out a link for that service through a Caring Corner this week. If you have a joy or a sorrow you'd like to share this morning, I hope you'll raise your hand. I'll bring you the microphone. Tell us your name and briefly what's in your heart.
Thank you, Tony. I'm Jim Husky. You want to stand up? Stand up. We have an announcement this morning. Naples is the tennis capital of America. But tennis giveth and tennis taketh away. Recently, tennis tooketh away Joanne's ability to walk because it tore her meniscus. But tennis also giveth. Today is Father's Day. Our daughter, Caroline, and our son-in-law, Peter, came to our house with a gift. Why, thank you, Caroline. This is very thoughtful. Dad, look in the jar. Are you ready to be grandparents? Wonderful, Caroline. And at 76, it's about time. Dad, look in the jar. Do you like to play doubles? That's wonderful, Caroline. Dad, look in the jar. Do you like to play triples?
Oh, my gosh.
Enough said.
Wow.
I'm Catherine Costello, and I am a mixture of joys and sorrows today. My joy is that next weekend I will be officiating for a family wedding up in Maryland. This will be my second officiating of a family wedding, and it's a great honor and pleasure. My other joy is that I have had 7 wonderful years here at UUCGN, but my sorrow is that I will be leaving, and this will be my last Sunday. My husband and I are moving to Melbourne, and so I will be joining you online from Melbourne, and I will miss you so much.
And our hearts will go with you.
Hello, I'm George Evans. I'm very happy to state that my beloved daughter, Pepper, is visiting me from her home in New York.
Welcome.
I always called her my little caboose because she's the third and final one.
Thanks.
May I add something?
Yes, please.
This is the 10th anniversary of my mother's death, Nan Bardsley Evans, for those of you who knew her. This was such an important place to her, and it's a blessing for me to be back here on this important weekend.
Absolutely. I shared with Pepper that Ann's and my first event here at the congregation was being present for Nan's service before I even started on the 1st of August.
My name is Dina Sewell, and tomorrow Michael and I are leaving for Norway for 3 months to the cottage that was my parents'. I've been there since 1961. So here's the Father's Day twist. My father unfortunately died when he was 64 years old. And my mother loved to be up at the cottage. And she said, you know, I sit here and I see your father in all the nails. And you know, he used big nails. And then what my father also did, he was an incredible role model. And one of these privileged people who grew up in a very, very good home. He was an incredible role model for what to look for when you want to find a man you want to have children with. So happy Father's Day.
Thank you. Happy Father's Day.
Good morning. My name is Diane Keys, and we're happy to have our grandson here, Omar's son, Omarly Keys Tiger. He's here to visit with us. We're so grateful to have him.
Welcome, welcome.
I'm David Sleeper, and I had a special day on Friday. I had my 80th birthday. But what made it super special is I've had 3 parties. 6 weeks ago, my neighbors in the vineyards had a fantastic celebration for me before they went north for the summer. On Friday, I had a special gathering, which included not only my other half, Bill Habrick, but also some very, very good friends here from UUCGN. And yesterday, I went to another restaurant. Many other friends were there. I hope I love the 80th, but let's move on. But thank you all.
You'll be forever 59, that's it.
So my name is Brentley, and I just wanted to share that this is the 5th Father's Day since my dad died.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a special day for me because we're just remembering and everything like that. So that's it.
Brentley, thanks so much. And he would be so, so proud of you. I'm so grateful for your presence here in the congregation. Anyone else? Let's hold those things that have been shared, those joys and those sorrows in our hearts, recognizing that there are so many other emotions, so many other feelings in the room this morning. And let's acknowledge those as well and hold each other close. Let's join each other in the spirit of meditation. Spirit of life and love, God of our deepest understanding, we are here together in community to face the truth about ourselves, about this tradition we love, and the ways it presently serves others in the world. We are here as well to open ourselves to the ways that we and it can be better and more joyfully reflect our potential and our core values. We want to know the ways we are bound to one another, as well as to the larger movement beyond, and to people, all people of goodwill. We say we are open and diverse. It is too easy sometimes to be stuck in old paths and stubborn habits, reflecting not so much tradition as comfort. We want to answer the call to service, to a world that needs our message and our revived energy. We gather here to learn, to unlearn, to hear, to heal, and to move forward. We are here to find within ourselves and among ourselves the courage to face the future with openness, curiosity, and hope. Let's share in some moments of silence.
Good morning, UUCGN. I'm so glad to be with you today, if only by video. My name is Jane Graham, and I was a participant on the Visioning Committee last winter and spring. I know that today, on the back of your program, you'll see the results of the visioning session held in the sanctuary on March 16th. 90+ people worked to dream our future together that day, to express our values and aspirational dreams for the future. We had planned the discussion to focus on 3 different levels of involvement, namely personal, congregational, and community. Although these levels seem very different, we now realize that what we want to be combines all these elements together. What we do in the community, we also hold fast in our personal lives. And I'm sure that makes us stronger. Our consultant complimented all of us on the hard work we put into our session and said she thought dreaming was a little hard for us. We were doers more than dreamers. And that's very true for me. It's hard for me to dream, to envision how we can reach our highest potential. But I keep on coming back to the word synergy, where the work and the decisions of the group exceed that of the individual members of the team. Let me just say that again, because I think that's a really important point, where the work and the decisions that the group does exceed that of any individual member of the team. That's how our visioning committee worked together. We listened, we learned, we grew together, and we created something out of the congregational meeting notes that was better than anything that each of us could have created individually from those same notes. I feel that we're on that path now on a congregational level. Let's create a covenant of expectations for our working relationships. Let's open the way for more community synergy. Let's create a strategic plan, embracing all of the tenets of our created vision. We can do it. You can do it. Let's hear your thoughts, and thanks.
I had a unique position on March 16th as I tried very hard to be the AV tech on that day and stay as much as possible out of the flow of conversation, but observe as best I could what was going on and the energy in the room, which was really wonderful, truly wonderful. And what Jane talked about in terms of the synergy of what happened on that day and what went up onto the flip charts, what the committee was working with in terms of that information and their own experience in the workshop, really, I think, sort of sifted down into a wonderful statement that you heard earlier and that you can see on the back of your order service. It was just, for me, thrilling to watch and just see all the back and forth and all the excitement and all the interest in sort of helping to build this together. What we thought we might do is to ask any of you who were present or anyone who was interested in sharing your experience of the day. You can see the vision on the back, but we're looking more for how you felt, how you experienced that workshop, and maybe to give us a different angle or to sort of share what's already been shared in terms of that sense of energy in the room. So Janet and Steve are going to carry around, or Jack, Janet and Jack are going to carry around the microphones. Jack, if you grab, I'll grab this one. And if you have anything that you want to share about the workshop or what you've heard or seen since then today, then I hope you'll raise your hand and they'll bring in a microphone around and see what you might have to say. How many of you were there on that day? So a good number of you were there. Who has something to sort of put out there for?
I'm Jean, and I just want to reinforce what all of you have said. There was a real synergy, and there was just a real intense feeling of community and being not always on the same page, but at least working towards similar goals. There is one comment I would like to make, and I'd like to add an important word to the visioning statement. Perhaps this is an inappropriate time to do so, but we need to be a beacon of everything that's mentioned here: hope, love, justice, but also truth.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else? Kathy?
Hi, I'm Diane. I just want to say I think this is more important than ever.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm Kathy Gorski, and I found it a lot of fun, and I thought it was really humorous that the two consultants that helped keep things going on that day had to stop by so many tables and encourage people to address the questions and not the solutions. Everyone just got so charged up. It had to have been a challenge to try to keep us reined in. And they were very patient, and they kept doing it time after time during the discussion. So that I thought was humorous.
Cliff?
Those of us who were trying to stop them didn't think it was humorous.
Hi, I'm Cliff, and I think this is my second visioning workshop here at UUCGN. I recall the first one leaving kind of disappointed because there were so many pie-in-the-sky ideas that didn't seem to be realistic. And so I came to the second one, this last one, in March, a little skeptical perhaps now that I think about it, but the vision, the focus, the camaraderie, and the reality of our discussions, I think, were absolutely wonderful and resulted in something that we can all really sink our teeth into and move forward.
Great. One of our facilitators is here, and Shannon, what do you have to share?
Thank you. That was fantastic timing. And thank you for your compliment on our patience that day. I have to say I'm a longtime UU, and so I knew what I was getting into. But Cheryl is just a patient, lovely soul. So I would like to compliment everyone that did the hard work that day of holding themselves and others accountable. It was very inspiring to see everyone have the courage to really ask themselves the hard questions of what they were willing to compromise personally, maybe for the growth of the group or for their own growth. There were some really great conversations, most of them on topic. Some of them maybe got down another avenue, but very, very interesting to hear everybody's different perspective and how it was really all saying the same thing, which I think you guys did a fantastic job with your message. And so I just wanted to say it was really an honor to be a part of that process. It's an honor to be a UU, and just thank you all for doing that work.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm Bill Pettinger, and a question for Tony or anyone else who might be able to address it. UUs have been around for many, many years, and I'm sure that there's a common denominator psychologically, philosophically, etc. among them. I'm curious, how similar or how different are similar statements in other UUs?
Well, you might ask Janet, who looked more closely at other UU congregations, but I think ultimately it's very much in alignment to the overall, to the message that I hear when I attend GA, which I'll be doing this coming week, as will Janet and Kathy. And so I think we're right in step with the larger movement, but with our own unique point of view. I will say, and just as I'm thinking about it, because I don't want to forget it, what Shannon and Cheryl put together in terms of the points that really bubbled up into the service, and they provided 13, I think, points to the Vision Task Force. Each one of those points has been touched in the vision statement and the creation of the vision statement that you've seen and will see again. So they did just a tremendous job in just sifting and sifting and sifting. And thank you, Jean, for your comment, because I think this is always a living document. something that needs to continue to be looked at and considered and perhaps changed as we go through that. Janet, do you have any additional comments about? No, I did okay. All right. Anybody else? One more?
Okay. Hi, I'm Andy. I've been in the orbit of UUCGN for the last couple of years, ever since we moved here, but haven't been able to attend regularly, at first for lack of childcare and then for other competing demands. But I was very heartened to be at this event and to hear the really broad support for children's programming and family programming from other parents, but also from folks who are not parents or have grown kids. And that was really heartening. And it was at that time that I sort of made the decision internally that it's time for me to become a member.
All right, thanks, Ian. All set? Thank you very much for your comments, and thank you all for your participation. Stu, you set?
Teleprompter set up here. And don't worry, I've got backup, so I'm not going to be meandering, and we wind up talking about man-eating sharks versus boat batteries as the worst fate to have. Certainly that's one of the main existential questions of our era, but we're not going to talk about that. So I have a younger brother, 3 years younger, lives in Lexington, Kentucky, and growing up, we would roughhouse. It's a guy thing, you know. And on occasion, something, and it was always by accident, a flower pot might get spilled over, a vase might be broken, a lamp gets a crack in it, the dining room table gets a nick in the leg. Things happen when brothers roughhouse, and that's why it's called roughhousing. It's rough on houses when boys are inside. Now, by no fault of his own, my younger brother was smaller, weaker, and didn't really get to be the boss. But when something bad happens in that roughhousing, and you're the little brother, you can say, now you've gone and done it, and you're in charge. And it is at this precise moment that the locus of power in a brotherly relationship shifts significantly. Information is power. And for younger brothers, it becomes leverage. And the concern about where or to whom that information might go becomes very important if you're the older brother. It can make an older brother apprehensive about who might come into possession of that information. So the phrase, gone and done it, always had a negative connotation for me, even into my adult life, until recently, until this visioning process and working with our task force. I now have a different perspective. So I want to give a twist to that dreaded statement, a positive one, a powerful one. When you think about what we've accomplished in building the vision statement, we can say, now we've gone and done it. We have crafted a beautiful vision of the future. We have gone and done it. That sounds a lot better. This brief, succinct statement is our guiding star, our North Star. It can serve as a compass for us as we journey together into the future. Let's keep our eyes and our hearts on our vision. Let this vision sink in. Let it permeate us. The vision statement takes a holistic view. At a personal level, it's about growing spiritually and intellectually in our personal lives. The more grounded we are in our values, the stronger and more effective we can be in our lives living our values in public. As a beloved congregation, it's about supporting and caring for all of us, building deeper and more meaningful relationships, teaching our children, tending to the needs of our congregation, and to the greater community outside our walls. It's about effectively serving the needs with that larger community by living our values. I will be asking our Board of Trustees to consider our vision statement and how, as a board, we can become fully aligned with it. And I invite committee chairs and the committee members of those that we take the opportunity in the next couple of months to reflect with your committee and consider two questions. How do we as a committee align with the vision statement? What can our committee do to support the vision of the future? My hunch is there's already a lot of alignment. We are doing a lot of good work right now. But I think with honest self-evaluation, we'll make some adjustments. We'll discover new ideas. Our goal as a congregation is to determine how we can make our vision statement reality. And we are in a situation like the Chinese proverb attributed to Lao Tzu, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. This visioning is our first step. It focuses on being what we aspire to be in the future. The second step is coming next, the how stage. To gird us for the journey ahead, we need some rules of the road. How will we travel this journey and work together? How will we behave with one another? How will we work in respectful relationships together? How will we resolve conflicts and keep all persons whole? How will we support one another? Step 2 is a covenanting process, and we'll be sharing more about that soon. And with our vision and our covenant, we then have the opportunity to build and determine our path for the future. The strategic plan is the doing stage, which many of us wanted to do on March 16th. Now the time is coming. It is creating our UUCGN map in which we determine the way forward for our congregation. It's about what we will commit to in order to bring the vision statement into reality. There's a lot of soul searching, both as individuals and as a congregation, in building strategic plans. We will always be asking, where should we best apply our resources of time, talent, and treasure? How do we make our values manifest in the world to create a positive, loving impact for us as individuals, for our beloved congregation, for the greater community in which we live? Our life paths are so different, so unique, and in many ways, so alone, so singular. Even as lifetime partners, we are still individuals. Yet, as diverse as our individual lives may be, they are so similar in that all our paths bring us here. The threads of our individual life come together and weave the tapestry of UUCGN. In this place, we are on common ground. Whether we came here because we are drawn here, invited here, called here, stumbled here, wandered here, here we now stand, here on common ground. And this, well, it's not there anymore. This was where we are headed. We have opportunities, challenges, and work ahead for us. And those are good things. Let's embrace them. Because the vision statement is what we aspire to be. This is our time, this is our place, this is our future. Let us aspire to our future so that in the time ahead, one day we will be able to say, now we've gone and done it. It's well worth the journey, my friends. Peace.
Let's take a moment to honor the ancestors of our congregation, the people who first came together to create a home for liberal religion in Naples, who worked to raise money for a building, who sat in committee meetings and created bylaws, who chopped and marinated and baked goods, who painted and weeded and pounded nails and washed countless dishes, who gathered to worship, to learn, to grieve, to heal, to serve, to build justice, to transform their lives in this world. We are the recipients of this incredible gift and a beautiful vision. Let us do our part to keep this congregation strong, vital, and thriving for the generations to come. The morning's offering will now be gratefully received, and as we enjoy the music and enjoy what's been presented here tonight, I'd like each of you to think about how you might invest yourselves in this vision, how you might contribute in some, at least small way, as we move forward together.
Rise and look around you, and you'll see who you are. On a clear day, how it will astound you that the glow of your being outshines every star you'll feel part of. Every mountain, sea, and shore from far and near, a word you've never heard before. And on a clear day, on a clear day, you can see forever and ever and evermore.
Just a couple of announcements. The popular Dining Around the World in Naples group, Dawn, is meeting at 5 o'clock this Wednesday, June 19th, at the well-loved Noodles Saigon restaurant. There are a couple of slots opening for that, so if you're interested in joining the group for a wonderful social event, please contact Elizabeth Guyton, there she is over in the corner. And check in with her. Wave again, just so they can see you if you're interested. Wednesday evening, the 19th. Next Sunday, we had originally planned for everyone to gather, or those who wanted to gather, to watch the service from General Assembly, the Sunday morning service, which is always a rich event. But that service is being held at 1 o'clock in the afternoon because of being live streamed, and we have folks on the West Coast that always want to see it and don't necessarily want to get up at 7 in the morning to do that. So we are presenting a service next week, thanks to the writers group who have volunteered and a few others to present a rich service. What's the theme? Is it? Renewal, recovery, and rejuvenation. So I hope you'll join us. We have a wonderful musician, and you can share with me what that name is, Sean? Frank Sanders, who was here for the recital recently and will be playing the piano. So it promises to be a great service. And if you're interested, then the service from General Assembly will be at 1 o'clock. It's live streamed. Anybody can tune in. And again, it promises to be a rich service. So let's rise in body or spirit and join in singing our closing hymn, number 1028 in the Teal hymnal, The Fire of Commitment.
From the light of days remembered burns a beacon bright and clear, guiding hands and hearts endurance into faith that free from fear. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the stories of our living rings a song both brave and free, calling pilgrims still to witness to the life of liberty. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. The dreams of youthful vision comes a new prophetic voice, which demands a deeper pistis built by our courageous choice. When the fire of command soul ablaze. When our hunger and our passion need to call us on our way. When we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin.
For our benediction, I hope you will all join me in putting your mouths around our vision statement. The words will be on the screen and on the back of your order of service. We envision an engaged and growing congregation supporting one another on our shared journey to a more peaceful, just, compassionate, and loving future. Embracing diversity, generosity, and joy, we are committed to becoming a more open, inclusive congregation supporting social, economic, and environmental justice, respectful relationships, and encouraging the development of intellectual and spiritual growth through all phases of life. Upon this foundation, we aspire to be a beacon of hope and justice for the community. Go in peace, go in love. Have a wonderful day.